Hey, what's up guys, Mikey here. I just realized what's been missing from my life this whole time. Spiky cleats. You know what they say.
With these spiky cleats, anything is possible.
So I recently bought a pair, and while they're not the exact same as the ones from the episode, they're still spiky cleats. And since I have them and a mustache, truly everything is possible now. Like world peace. SpongeBob Meets the Strangler is the episode where SpongeBob turns in a criminal for littering, but the criminal escapes and tries to get revenge on SpongeBob. This episode aired on October 11, 2004, and was actually released on the Seascape Capers VHS and DVD on January 6, 2004, way before they officially aired on TV. I remember getting this on VHS at my local video rental store as a kid, and I remember calling this and its sister episode Best Friend episodes, how they can never be split up. I don't remember if I got this tape before or after the episode aired on TV, but the fact I remember going into the video store more than the first time I saw this episode just goes to show how much physical media matters in the world. Even after I saw this episode for the first time, I still really love it and have a lot of memories of this one in high school. Oh right, this episode also features the first on-screen appearance of the Bikini Bottom Airport. Since this was one of the original final episodes before the show continued after the first movie, let's watch this episode and see the only speaking role of the Tattletale Strangler in the main show. So the episode starts up at the Krusty Krab. I'm not surprised. SpongeBob waited to clock in and got a 100% on-time percentage, and Squidward, despite checking in a few seconds later, only got 12%. SpongeBob went outside to clean up litter in the parking lot. He saw a piece of litter, but soon a ton more pieces started appearing out of nowhere, and he got furious over how many showed up. Then he saw who was littering and confronted him until the police showed up, and they started to chain him up real good. Squidward arrived and saw the person being chained up was the Tattletale Strangler, a criminal who is notorious for strangling anybody who turns him in. Oh, that's what he does, huh? He startled them both, and Squidward ran away. SpongeBob spoke to the officers, who reassured him that the Strangler wouldn't choke him because of how he was chained up. But unfortunately, he escaped from all the cops when they weren't looking. SpongeBob freaked out, but the cops recommended he get a bodyguard and then left, calling him a tattletale. Are the cops going to, I don't know, actually look for the Strangler or not? SpongeBob went to ask Mr. Krabs to be his bodyguard, and he agreed until he found out who was after SpongeBob was the Snitch choker. SpongeBob asked Larry the Lobster and various other tough guys around town to be his bodyguard, but they were all too scared to help him. After several failed attempts, SpongeBob thought he had to escape town, but somebody else offered to be his bodyguard, who was, unsurprisingly, the choker wearing a phony baloney mustache. It's true, I don't know anybody in real life who actually has a handlebar mustache. The Strangler couldn't strangle SpongeBob out in the open, so he offered to be his bodyguard. SpongeBob agreed, and the Strangler said that they should go to a dark place, so SpongeBob suggested going to his house and making it dark, to which the Strangler liked, intending to kill SpongeBob with no witnesses. SpongeBob said he had some errands to run first. He went to places such as the grocery store, the dry cleaners, and a perfume department, and took so long to do all his errands, and the Strangler got more and more fed up with how long SpongeBob was taking. When they arrived at SpongeBob's house, he accidentally said the word Strangler and couldn't remember where he put his keys. 20 minutes later, the Strangler decided to climb through the window, and SpongeBob jumped up with his spiky cleats and landed on his f***ing eyeballs. See? Anything really is possible with spiky cleats. The Strangler ran around in pain 6 hours later, and he didn't take SpongeBob out of his eyes for 6 hours. SpongeBob remembered the spare key from under the mat. After going inside the house, the windpipe crusher was about to do just that to SpongeBob before the lights came on, and SpongeBob revealed that he had sent out invitations for a surprise party to celebrate his perfect on-time percentage at work. You could tell SpongeBob was surprised if he forgot he sent out invitations to his own surprise party. SpongeBob and his friends partied it up until everybody had to leave. When he and the Strangler were alone, they both laughed evilly until SpongeBob's friends came back to celebrate his birthday. After another party, SpongeBob assured the Strangler he had no more parties and all his friends left. The Strangler almost choked SpongeBob until Patrick showed up out of nowhere. The Strangler tried to get rid of Patrick, claiming he could be the Strangler, but Patrick thought he was the Strangler for real and ran to turn himself in. The the Squealer Windpipe Crusher got mad and ripped off his mustache, saying he bought his disguise at the party store.
Did someone say party?
Damn, why can't I have 3 parties in one day? The Strangler finally broke down from all the craziness and ran away from SpongeBob, who started chasing him all over town, on and off an airplane, until the Strangler finally ended up back in jail. SpongeBob learns the truth about his bodyguard being the Tattletale Strangler. The cops are proud of SpongeBob for putting the Strangler behind bars, and the Strangler is relieved to be away from the yellow idiot, only to discover he was in the same cell as the pink idiot, and the episode ends. If I had a nickel for every season 3 episode that focused on a tough guy wanting to kill SpongeBob and then getting worked up by SpongeBob in one way or another, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's interesting that it happened twice in the same season, right? So that was SpongeBob Meets the Strangler. And that is such a good episode. I don't have much wrong with it, so I'll just start off by sharing my 2 nitpicks of this one. After all SpongeBob's friends left the party, and SpongeBob assured the Strangler they were alone, what about Gary? I always wondered why SpongeBob forgot Gary in that instance. Which actually makes it sound interesting if Gary was the one who caught the Strangler trying to kill SpongeBob. And the other nitpick is, despite the Strangler being really chained up, he still drew SpongeBob's face on the headrest of the driver's seat and was able to strangle him. But that's it, those are my only 2 complaints. So now let's talk about my favorite scenes from the episode as a kid, teenager, and now. The parts that make me laugh the most are definitely all the parties that SpongeBob has, especially the 3rd time where everybody appears on cue as the Strangler says the word party. Doesn't work with me though. There's also the part where SpongeBob chases the Strangler around town, and the gag where he was the Strangler's parachute. I'll admit, as a kid, I actually didn't expect that to be the gag they went with. And of course, the part where SpongeBob jumps on the Strangler's eyes with his cleats and gets stuck on him.
Get your feet out of my eye sockets!
SpongeBob's line about the cleats is one of my favorite lines of dialogue throughout the entire series, even to this day. Those are my favorite scenes from this episode, but I still like a lot more regular scenes, like the sequences of SpongeBob looking for a bodyguard and everybody else is too scared to help him, when he takes too long to do his errands, and the beginning where SpongeBob and Squidward clock in, followed by SpongeBob seeing all the litter outside the Krusty Krab. There are also a lot of great character moments throughout the episode. I love when Patrick thinks he's the Strangler at first. I love when Squidward warns SpongeBob he called the cops on the Tattletale Strangler. I love how Mr. Krabs immediately agrees to be SpongeBob's bodyguard until he realizes SpongeBob needs protection from the Strangler. And I like how everybody comes to SpongeBob's house parties to help SpongeBob get rid of the Strangler, including characters like Squidward, Plankton, or Mrs. Puff, who, as we all know, are not super fond of him. But it's great they still helped him out and had big smiles on their faces during these parts. All the characters are really strong here. I really like the Tattletale Strangler. He definitely feels like a threat to our hero, and I love that there are several implications that he might actually kill SpongeBob, like with how dirty his hands are, all his maniacal laughter, and how he wants a dark, quiet place where he can kill SpongeBob without being noticed. And I love how quickly he gets fed up with everything SpongeBob is doing, taking too long to do his errands, having all the parties, him reacting in pain when SpongeBob's cleats are on his eyes, and when SpongeBob is seemingly oblivious to the Strangler's real identity, even after he rips off his mustache. And of course, SpongeBob. SpongeBob is the star of this episode. I love how he gets fed up with all the litter and immediately confronts the Strangler, not even concerned he's standing up to a criminal before he knows he's the Strangler. Something else I love about SpongeBob is that there are so many hints throughout the episode that he knows his bodyguard is really the Strangler in disguise. Like how he takes so long to do his errands and look for his keys, how he puts on spiky cleats to jump on the Strangler's upper body instead of using his normal shoes, the fact he has all his parties in one day, and when he chases him all around town until he ends up in jail. There are a couple of lines that do suggest he knew about this the whole time, like this one.
Now to put the key in the lock, which should activate the tumblers, thus opening the door.
Because who talks like that? Whenever he laughs alongside the Strangler. And of course, this line that indirectly confirms he knew this the whole time.
Don't mention it, Strangler. Bodyguard.
His reaction and facial expressions suggest he knew the Strangler's plan ever since he saw his face. I like this. He's not completely gullible to the point that he only assumes the Strangler is the bodyguard the whole time. He probably figured it out after seeing the Strangler's business card, because that was when he started acting over the top and less scared around the Strangler. As a kid, I thought SpongeBob was just being innocent and all this was an accident, but I now see he had this master plan all along. I love that. It's so great seeing this side of SpongeBob, intentionally being aggravating against somebody who's trying to kill him off his back. There's also some details that I really like. While most of the litter SpongeBob picks up is random paper or wrappers, there's a can right here for a split second. When SpongeBob throws his house party, the wallpaper here is the same green with white flowers that it was the last time he threw a party in episode 101, Party Pooper Pants. And that spare key under the mat joke is brought back from that episode too. Fun fact, I actually saw this episode before Party Pooper Pants as a kid, so this was the first time I saw SpongeBob's mat magically appear with a key underneath it. And I feel like that's all I had to say about this one. It's awesome, and there's lots of funny moments and character banter, and such a memorable villain, and all those are great. But I'm finding it hard to continue speaking about it, so I'll just say, at least the Tattletale Strangler doesn't appear as much in the show these days as Bubble Bass does. SpongeBob Meets the Strangler is an awesome episode. I do have a lot of fun memories of it, but this is one of the trickier ones for me to actually recap on. But that's okay. I feel like I'm actually starting to break free a bit. I knew these spiky cleats were the one material possession I actually needed in my life,